This is the Tree of Life, Season 22, Chapter 4. In this episode, we will be bringing together Season 13, Chapter 8, with this season. In particular, we will be talking about the damping caused by negation within a particular bodily rhythm causing decoherence. To start out, in Season 13, Chapter 8, we talked about how negation of particular rhythms represents damping. The idea was that in negation of an impulse in the context of a particular bodily rhythm or cycle, there is a damping effect, akin to drag, through that rhythm. In the context of this episode, the rhythms represent resonant cavities, by which there is a loss due to the damping caused by negation. In the last episode, we talked about how in measurement reversal, coherence is preserved, by way of a reversal of a partial measurement, negation, at the conclusion of a reverse substitution event. In this episode, I would like to bring those two concepts together. If you imagine that the phase linking of two affirmational impulses between two individuals represents a channel. That is, from one end of the spectrum, with emotional coupling, you have a quasi-perfect phase linking between the incoming and outgoing consciousness. In decoherence, due to a partial measurement, or weak measurement, you have weaker phase linking between two affirmational impulses. We talked in the last episode how there exist two distinct kinds of interactions described here. In the one, preserving coherence, we have emotional coupling. In the second, with the application of force to compel compliance by the incoming consciousness in the sequential substitution event, we have a weaker form of interaction. We also talked about how these two interactions describe distinct bodily rhythms or cycles. The idea was that the stronger coupling interaction is associated with a distinct rhythm than the weaker phase linking interaction. In Season 13, Chapter 8, we talked about these rhythms as if they are resonant cavities, which in negation represent damping. In this episode, I would like to equate negation in those cavities as quantum channels exhibiting the same quality of amplitude damping. That is to say, that in negation of an impulse, these rhythms exhibit a quality of damping, which would produce decoherence the same way a quantum channel would produce amplitude damping. Now, in this case, the damping described is distinct depending upon the bodily rhythm so described. More importantly, you can imagine that the phase linking corresponding to a particular interaction, either strong emotional coupling, or weak compelling by force, represents a distinct impact on quantum coherence. Since we saw that in measurement reversal, emotional coupling, strong, prevented by negation, weak measurement, at the conclusion of the reverse substitution, is followed by a sequential substitution event, in which there is measurement reversal a weak. Now, to preserve rigid hierarchical priorities in situations such as parental investment, where that priority is flipped, we see the incoming consciousness, i.e. parental figure, in negation, migrates, compelling acquiescence in the sequential substitution event. In this way, proprietary experience channels are maintained to ensure a stable rigid hierarchical structure, despite apparent non-rigidity. Thus, in this case, the quantum channel described above becomes a proprietary experience channel, reliant upon weak measurement and measurement reversal to preserve coherence. In the alternative, in the case of tautological natural law, the effect of emotional coupling, and integration of an impulse by the incoming consciousness, is the shifting of that impulse into a Markovian process. That is to say that the impulse becomes integrated regardless of the past states associated with that impulse. That's the end of the podcast for today.